What's up, YouTube streets? This is Kiki Speaks back with another review and final review for Summer House Martha's Vineyard Season 2, The Reunion. So let's dive right in. Um, Basically, Andy starts off the reunion by going around the circle or semicircle, starting with Preston asking how everything's been, how everything's going. Everybody looks great. Preston, Noel, Nick, Summer, Jasmine, Bria, Jordan, Shanice, Amir, and Alex in a semicircle together. Um, just he basically Andy's just going around asking them how everything's going, how everyone looks nice, and just kind of up real quick before we got into it. And just a quick note, now that I see Shanice's dress, because initially I was not fond of it, but now that I see her dress, the little sparkly silver things that's on her dress actually does pair pretty well with the shoes. She actually brought that out now that I can see it on TV, because on the camera that I guess the flash kind of dulled that out or missed that. So now that I look at it, I like it. I'll give it a 5. I believe I had given it a 2.5, but no, I'll give it a 5. It looks good. She looks nice. I'm still not too fond of her hair. Still looks, a little local beauty supply store ponytail and then shake and go, but that's all good. Start. Anyway, we start off with Alex, Summer, and Noel drama. Summer and Noel are not messing with each other. They are not here for each other at all. They quickly get into it about whether Summer told Noel about her and Alex having sex. Alex speaks his piece, saying that he let Summer know it wasn't going to go any further. But Summer said basically nobody ended anything, that the situation between her and Alex just kind of fizzled out. They stopped talking to each other and whatever the case is, but Alex says otherwise. And he is also now calling her Autumn and says that prior to him being on Watch What Happens Live the last time, that Summer was somewhat stalking him by leaving voice notes or sending him voice notes, multiples at that, at a time in one day. I'm not sure exactly of what. They did not go into what was said in those voice notes. But then Shanice says, well, I'm glad I'm not being labeled as the crazy one anymore. Definite shade. Summer was getting shaded quite a bit. And I also took a quick look at Kempire's interview with Noelle. She gave some backstory as to why she's really not messing with Summer like that. And she was stating that Summer was being really shady while in the house, like creating rumors that saying that she never, she did tell Noelle about sleeping with Alex. Noelle just chose to ignore it, but Noelle is standing firm on what she initially said, that Summer did not tell her about her sleeping with Alex, that she just told her that they were hanging out. And hanging out could mean that they were platonic, and that's how Noelle took it. But once Noelle found out about it, what she does take accountability for is that once she found out that they did have sex, she did somewhat continue to pursue Alex, but not really. Um, yeah, it was a whole thing between Noelle and Summer that they weren't actually showing on camera like that. Like there were house meetings of Summer, acting out and putting her hands on people. And Noelle wasn't the only person Summer had put her hands on that night. She also put her hands on Shanice. She pushed Shanice or something like that. Crazy. There was a whole bunch of stuff that we did not know. And not only that, after the season wrapped up, Summer was still talking about Noelle, and Noelle was like, why are we still talking about this whole situation with Alex? I thought we did this. I thought we resolved it. I apologize to you. I took accountability for the part that I played in that. Like, leave it alone. But Summer kept on acting funny towards her, and even came to the point where she said that she would fight Noel. And bro, I don't know. I guess it went wild behind the scenes, and we weren't too privy of exactly how wild it got. I guess Summer got really out of hand more than we actually got to see, and more than people actually realized. So that's kind of crazy. I was wondering why, when I saw this reunion, why Noel and Summer had so much heat for each other. Because if you notice, it was definite tension between the two of them, and Noelle wasn't backing down this time. She wasn't giving her any grace. She wasn't being sweet and nice and trying to be calm. She was on Summer's ass when it was their time to talk. And I don't know if you guys also peep, before they ended that whole little segment of the Alex Summer and Noelle situation, the way Noel and Summer were pointing their fingers at each other across, like Nick is in the middle of them, and they're just like pointing their finger at each other and like doing all of that, bruh. I almost thought that maybe they was about to fight. I don't know, but anyway, we move on to the next thing. Amir's relationship with Natalie. God, we just had to talk about her, but I'm glad we did. Uh, so they asked how his relationship with Natalie is going. He said it's great, and they asked, "Do you see any progression with it? Is it going to go any further?" He says, "Yes, we bought a house, but mind you, it's in his name, and she is on the deed, so he is financially responsible, and she gets the benefits of saying it's hers." And it makes me wonder, for someone who says that they make more than you do in a year and a month, meaning that Natalie makes what Amir makes in a year and a month, why is she not on the financial paperwork as well? I mean, if she's the breadwinner, she's making the money. Why is she not on the financial paperwork? Why is she not on the loan? Huh. And they brought that up, and they were saying, his housemates were saying, yeah, and Andy was saying that, she kindly came in and was saying all of this stuff, like when they ask about you guys' future together, she starts bringing up, business, and say that she's glad to be that you're joining her team and you guys are working together, like, and then had the nerve to say that she makes more money than you. It does sound kind of emasculating. But he just shook it off. Amir just shook it off. No, 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 it's not like that. It's not like that. I'm glad that she's a very successful woman. That she's, we can be powerful together. Oh shit. She runs him. She runs him. 100%. If anybody is clout chasing, it's Natalie. Because not for nothing, after Amir done said in multiple interviews that he will not be back on the show unless Natalie is there full time. Bruh, bruh, please. I don't think they're compatible, but Amir, go off. That's you. That's none of my business. But anyway, they go into Summer going batshit crazy all season and having to deal with her temper and the way she handled everybody in the house, and whether or not she is still friends the way that she was with certain people. They ask about her and Noel. They say they're cordial. They ask about her and Jordan. She loves Jordan to death, but they're still working out their issues. They're still, bumping heads, but they're working out their issues. It's a process. And they ask about her and Preston, and she says Preston is the love of her life. That he, once he told her that no matter what, he wasn't going anywhere. He will always be there for her. that's exactly what he's been to her. That's exactly what she's never heard anybody in her life actually say that to her. And she also states that she didn't know how to share what was going on with her with other people in the house, because that's not that's not how she knew to express herself. She knew that if she was, the way that she grew up is that when she told people how she felt about certain things, people will always leave. And she didn't want to take that risk with telling the people in the house what was going on with her and them just disappearing on her or not wanting to be around her anymore. It's kind of sad, but it is what it is, right? Anyway, but Summer says that she is taking the time to reflect on everything that took place, and just watching them play back what took place at the house is hurtful to hurtful to her. She even starts to break down crying and needs a minute to process all of that again. And it was just sad for her to watch, and she just wants to do better. She wants to move on as well, but also do better. And they ask about her father. Did she have any luck on finding a person that she believes to be her father? And she said it turns out the person that she always thought was her father is actually her father. And everybody says, oh, congratulations. She was like, oh, that's nothing to be happy about. I mean, it's great to know who my father is, but it doesn't seem like she has any kind of relationship with this person. She says she's had great father figures in her life, or male role models in her life, with her grandfather, her uncle, and I believe her stepfather. So she's just moving on. She knows who her biological father is, and that's all that she needs to move on with that situation. We then go into Jordan on her alopecia. She's receiving treatments for her hair, and hopefully, hopefully it works for her, and she continues to be an advocate for you know Black women going through alopecia. Amy asked about Preston's father passing, and he lets them know that his father's debt is now coming up, and it's being pushed on him and his sister. And it's pretty crazy because he and his sister weren't even invited to the funeral, I believe, at the time that his father passed. And his father really, was pretty much in and out his life, and you wasn't really that accepting of him. Um, so it's pretty crazy that that's something that he now has to deal with somebody he was estranged from, right? They talk about Summer's friendship with Preston and Summer. Oh, he also asked her if she would come back to the house, and Summer said maybe in smaller doses. And I hope that once they get a season three, because they're definitely getting a season three, in my opinion. I hope that Summer does decide to come back in smaller doses. I wouldn't want her to come back to the house full time. Maybe something that she could do like for an extended weekend kind of thing. Like when they have the big event with the Lux on the Bluffs kind of thing. Like she could come back for a couple days and let that be that. I just want nothing but healing and great things for Summer. She seems like she is still going through a lot, according to other people in the house. Not so much she's saying that, saying herself. She still has a lot of things that she needs to clear up her own. But I just hope that she heals. Get into Bria and Preston. Um, they talk about how Preston has given, not so much giving Bria a lot of slack, but he calls her out on her shit, basically, right? And I feel like it's a love hate friendship with the two of them. They seem to constantly bump heads. The person said that that's like his little sister, but I feel like he holds Like he doesn't play around when it comes to Bria. As far as like if Bria is acting snobbish, if she's acting like a brat, if she's acting immature, he calls her out on her bullshit right then and there. Whereas when it comes to Jordan, and this has been said, that he doesn't really do that with Jordan, and Jordan and Bria kind of act alike. Not for nothing, they both are somewhat. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna put Jordan like that. Jordan is, she doesn't like taking accountability for her shit. Like if she's in the wrong, or if she's so pressed about something and somebody talks about it and they trying to come to a resolution, she does not seem like she wants to be like, she wants anything to resolve. If somebody did something to her, she gonna hold on to that shit for dear life. And I'm not saying that she's trying to play the victim card constantly, because she does, but Preston did not like doesn't call Jordan out on her bullshit, but he constantly does it to Bria. And he says that, Bria's like his sister and they love each other, and Noel made a point of saying, yeah, the I love yous between everybody here seems like a fuck you, or F you, excuse me. And from looking at that Campfire interview, as she gave detail as to why she felt that way, kind of makes sense, right? But yeah, supposedly Bria called when Bria got arrested in the south of France. She called Preston to help her get a lawyer, to get her out of jail. And Preston said that he never got a thank you from Bria for that. And Bria said yes he did. And then he was like, yeah, okay. Basically, no. And he probably still pissed off about it because she never actually did thank him. Cause that maybe that's why he decides he wants to call her out every chance that he gets. But I don't know. And it's also been said that it doesn't seem like anybody really likes Bria all that much. They continuously say how much they love her and they appreciate her, or whatever the case is, but she's annoying. I don't know. Two things can be true at the same time, right? Bria, they asked Bria about her relationship with Simon. Bria voices her concern about her relationship with Simon because he disrespects her in the way that he does not listen to her. Like when she told him about the whole flamingo thing, the flamingo costume, which got on my absolute nerves. Um, she told him about it, and she let him know that, it was an event where Nick was dedicated to his line brother who passed away. It was a serious event. It was very important to Nick. Please do not wear this flamingo costume down there and embarrass me and um, make Nick upset. You go wear it here. And she let him know, and he still did it anyway. Disrespectful. And that is very embarrassing to her. And she also said that she constantly has to educate Simon about her being black, and she doesn't believe that he actually takes that in when she says it. Like it's a constant thing that she has to bring up in order for him to get an understanding of what's being done to her, and he still doesn't get it. That's a major problem. If you got to constantly go into that play for him to understand something and he still don't get it, you guys are not going to last much longer. And then Andy asks, do you believe that Simon is using you because you're on the show? Basically, he's using you for clout? And it seems like everyone agrees, but Bria believes that no, Simon comes from a lot of money. He doesn't have to use her for clout. He just loves that she's on the show and she's getting so much attention, so he wants to be a part of it. I think that means he's using her for clout. It doesn't necessarily mean that he's using her for money. He could be using her for the attention. But yeah, I don't know. That's my opinion. Maybe he is. I don't know. That's none of my business. Anyway, they go into Jasmine and how she felt disconnected from the group coming into the house, and she felt isolated for whatever reason. But at the same time, while Jasmine is going into this, she is on people's ass too. And not for nothing. Where was this Jasmine this whole season? I guess maybe because she was playing it back because she was pregnant and she wasn't going to get into it with anybody. And not only that, she was unaware of certain things that were taking place. So, yeah, but I like this Jasmine. This Jasmine, I want to see next season if we can possibly get her back next season because now she a mama and all. Who knows, right? But anyway, Jasmine was checking these hoes. No one has a real valid answer as to why Jasmine was being isolated from the group. Like when they would go out and have fun, or for instance, this whole Jamaica trip situation. And Summer cleared it up right quick. She's like, hold on, let me speak for me and Preston because I asked, or me and Preston asked in a group chat, should we invite Jasmine? Because it was Shanice's Jamaica's trip. And Shanice was inviting everybody. So they asked, and Shanice immediately said no. She was the first one to say no, and I guess people followed behind that, right? And Jasmine was like, oh, do we have a problem? Did we have a problem? And Shanice, no, we didn't have a problem, but I didn't just want it to be any drama. And then Shanice was like, oh, so now I bring, not Shanice, Jasmine was like, oh, so now I bring drama. And Shanice was like, no, I'm not saying that. Like, so what I believe is the reason why Jasmine wasn't invited to that Jamaica trip is because Shanice knew that Jordan had an issue with Jasmine, and in order to avoid Jordan being uncomfortable, or it being uncomfortable in general, because Jordan was gonna have a stink ass face on the whole entire time Jasmine was there and didn't really want to, parlay with Jasmine like that. She decided, no, we don't need to invite Jasmine because I want Jordan to be here and I want Jordan to have a good time. I'm closer to Jordan anyway. That's why I think she didn't invite Jasmine. And that's why I think quite a few people weren't inviting Jasmine anywhere because of Jordan. Jordan did not want to be around Jasmine, and because, you know, Jordan's the one who's single, who's going out, and this and that is going on, and that's what everybody else is pretty much is single, living a life, going out, having fun. They gonna hang out with Jordan. They're not gonna take Jasmine's side of things, right? Because Jasmine's at home being a wife, right? So they gotta accommodate Jordan. And Jordan did not want to be around Jasmine. That's my opinion. That's why she wasn't getting invited to things. And so much so that's pretty much what Summer said without saying it, in my personal opinion. Pay attention. And Jasmine also let it be known that um it seemed like the reason why her and Jordan had an issue or whatever the case is. Well, we all know why Jordan felt like that she and Jasmine were on the same page, because last season, in season one, Jasmine was trying to play matchmaker, and Jordan said that she was acting like, or trying to play puppet master and trying to match her up with Amir, and she didn't appreciate that. Honestly, it's not that deep, bro. It's not that deep. And Jasmine in season one even apologized if she felt like that, or because she felt like that, she just wanted Jordan to, be happy, because that's what Jordan wanted. So she wanted a partner. She wanted to be, you know, wanted to have the things that Jasmine has, right? Which makes me go even further into, I think Jordan is jealous because she thought she would be the one to have the things Jasmine has before Jasmine had them. She thought because, she was a Playboy bunny, that she would, and she feels like she's probably the more attractive one between the two of them, that she would have the husband and the baby and that kind of lifestyle before Jasmine had it, right? But that wasn't the case. And I feel like she's jealous of Jasmine. Not for nothing. Because not for nothing, Jasmine also she brought up that, you know, Jordan can't I don't remember she says Jordan name, but Jordan expected her to stay a certain kind of way forever when she's constantly progressing and growing. She can't stay in this one space forever because, you know, she's constantly growing as a person as life goes on. So Jasmine said that she realized that she should have been checking Jordan from the jump of their friendship, because now she's been letting Jordan just slide by with the things and the aggressive remarks about whatever the case is, especially about the comment she made in her confessional about, is this Silas's child, or giving that kind of, you know, implication. Is this really Silas's first child? I don't know. She said that she wasn't trying to be shady, but why even mention it? I don't know. I don't know. But Jasmine said that even that was like a shady comment, but she should have been checking Jordan from the jump, because she shouldn't have been getting away with even saying that. And I agree. If you feel like she was saying stuff like that was slightly shading you or your husband from the beginning, instead of be like, oh, you know, that's just Jordan, you gotta check people. Like, oh no, wait, what did you mean by that? Why are you saying that? Why are you saying this? Why are you acting like this? You need to nip it in the bud now, because they're only gonna think that they could continuously get over it, get over it, get over it, get it. No. Check them from the jump. That's called growth. That's what you do when you're grown. And that's what Jasmine has now realized, that this is what I'll be doing going forward with me and Jordan's relationship or friendship. I'll be checking her from the jump. Every time I feel like she's a little out of pocket, I'm going to let her know. Like, what's that about? And that's a good way to be. And you know what? Jordan sat there and she was just like nodding her head. They still trying to figure out their friendship, but honestly, I think that friendship is done. It's a dud, in my personal opinion. Then we get into Nick being handsy. Bria, Noel, and Shanice were unaware that Nick talked to Jordan and Summer um, about him being, you know, being touchy or flirtatious, or what have you. Um, they didn't know that it was already addressed or brought up. And not for nothing, why should they? It wasn't none of their business. He wasn't doing that to them. And if they feel that he was doing it to them, they should have addressed him like Summer and Jordan did. It should have been brought to his attention, not to be gossiped about. But then again, Noelle did mention she didn't think it was that deep. Like, it wasn't that serious to the point where she felt like she was uncomfortable. Like, he made her uncomfortable to the point where she needed to have a conversation with him or his girlfriend about it. So again, it really wasn't that deep. So I feel like it shouldn't have been addressed at all, or even not addressed, but it shouldn't have been said at all. They ask Nick about him and Tasia, are they still together? He confirms that they did break up. They were just on different paths and on what their future was going to look like. In my honest opinion, I think Tasia wanted to get married and Nick did not at this time. Just by going what we saw on the season when the two of them were together, where everybody else went bike riding and they were on their way to the restaurant to have brunch. Um, I believe Tasia was like, yes, Tasia Arrington, and Arrington is Nick's last name. She wanted the ring, and Nick just wasn't ready to give it to her. On top of, he said that there was some contention between them with the situation that also transpired in the house with the girl saying that Nick was flirtatious and handsy. That there was some contention with them, but ultimately that's not the reason why they broke up. They were just on two separate paths on what they wanted for their future at the time. And yeah, that's my opinion. I think Tasia wanted the ring and Nick just was not ready to settle down like that with her. He did say that she was the whole package and, he loved her dearly, but I don't think he was ready. Nick's still trying to be out here single. Well, he is single now, so live your life. Then they go into how Amir made comments about Nick's wandering eyes. Amir, shut up. Shut up. Nick isn't touching anyone. I mean, yes, Amir said that he cleared it up. He was speaking specifically about um, one night when Shanice was dancing her bare naked ass and on the side of Nick's face, and Nick turns and looks at her butt or whatever the case is. Not for nothing. It's right there in his face. It's right there in his face. And I don't feel like Nick was like completely out of line with that. Like not for nothing. It's not like he was just staring at her butt like this. They showed him. He turned and looked at her butt, saw that she was naked, and then she was taking off her top, and he was like, "What the?" Like he didn't go up behind her, start grinding on her. He didn't try to touch her ass. Didn't try to touch her tit. None of that. He didn't try to do any of that. So for me to run his mouth, which I believe he rid his mouth to Natalie to no end, which is why Natalie came in, and this is what he does. I feel like that, yeah, Natalie got most of her information from Amir, and that's why she came in the house saying the things that she said when she said it to Bria, Shanice, and Noelle. But obviously, you can see that there's a rift in Nick and Amir's friendship, and I think Nick needs to keep his distance from Amir because Amir is just pussy whipped at this point and is gonna say like that. And I'm sure Natalie is thrilled that Amir is not as cool or as close to Nick as he used to be, especially knowing Nick is now single. Natalie was being messy. Noelle said it. Thank you. I loved how she laid it all out there nicely. Also, Nick ended it like if she wants to get to know people, actually have a conversation with them. Don't go around talking about them. Keep Natalie and Amir. Don't come back. Please don't come back. Then they brought up Mariah and Phil. And they made light of it, in my opinion, the whole situation with Mariah and Amir, how Mariah wanted Amir to take some accountability for his role that he played in her being removed from the house in season one. Um, Phil, they just said that he wasn't completely genuine in his apology, and Preston was just basically saying that the past is the past at this point. If this is the apology I'm gonna get, which was better than I thought. Excuse me. This apology was better than I thought it would be. Then hey, it is what it is. I'm not stressed about it. Move on, right? Then we find out from I think Bria and Shanice and Jasmine that Mariah and Phil were fuck buddies. Because they were like that Phil came to the party, he was flirting with all the girls at the party or whatever the case is, and that then they stopped was like, well, he was there with Mariah, so it was kind of like disrespectful. It was like, oh, but him and Mariah are just friends. That was like a thing. Oh no, Bria started to say, no, they were fuck buddies. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Anyway, they then go to Nick having Nick tattoos at Freak Nick, and they ask him if he would ever get some, and then they made jokes about it, and I think maybe Nick needs to get at least one, maybe like something on his back or his arm. Come on, right? Then they go into Summer thinking Shanice is the worst dress. Andy asks her, does Summer still believes that Shanice is the worst dress? And she says yes, with no hesitation. Um, but she makes a point of saying that Shanice kind of took it the wrong way, as if she was talking about the reason why she's the worst dress is because she doesn't wear labels, but that's not the case. And then Shanice was talking about how she felt that Summer was being phony because the next day after she said that, she came to ask Shanice for a sweater, and she was thinking, well, bitch, if you think I'm the worst dressed, why would you come ask me for a sweater? And Summer, she had me in stitches with this. She said, because I know I could pair it better than you can. I just know how to pair it and you don't. Bruh, if that ain't the. Anyway, yes. Um, Then they got a question from a watcher saying, Shanice, why are you bragging about dating high profile guys, sending them nudes, and not getting a bag out of them to buy some clothes? At least about a blouse from Zara, right? Shanice says she doesn't date guys for money, just sex, basically. And she now has a job. They ask her about her job. Does she have a job now? And she now has a job in software sales. Good for her. Hopefully, she finally settled all of that stuff with her ex too. They should have asked about that as well. She finally settled all of that stuff with her ex as well, because I know she was stressed out about that. But anyway, that was the end of Summer's Summer House Martha's Vegas season 2 reunion. It was a cute little kiki, right? It was cute. I think the moment that got me the most this reunion was the whole Noel and Summer finger pointing thing over Nick, as they went on to disagree about this whole, finding out about Alex and Noel's situation. I mean, Alex and Summer's situation. They will never be friends again, if they ever were, in my opinion. But anyway, that's all I have for you. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share with your family and friends. And be sure to come back. Take a look at me, okay? Bye. Peace.